podcast. I'm your host, Noah Love, and today we're getting into the hottest topics in sports for this Wednesday, December 11th, 2024. It's currently 8:13 p.m. I have the Hawks and the Knicks playing over here. The Hawks are down 5 at the moment. Yeah, they're playing this in-season cup. Listen, the NBA, I can talk about their ratings being down another time. We don't really get into NBA talk around here or until like December, mid-December, January. So, talk about we will preview NFL Week 15, the biggest matchups. We will preview. I will go more into these first round college football playoff matchups in depth. I will go into college basketball top 25 quickly, and then we'll talk about Bill Belichick to North Carolina and my thoughts about it. Okay, and we'll also talk about the Bengals being the Cowboys on Monday night briefly. Okay, let's go to the top 25 here for basketball. It, 25 Mississippi State, 24 UCLA, 23 San Diego State, 22 Cincinnati, 21 Michigan State. Ooh, Michigan State balling this year. 20 Wisconsin, 19 Ole Miss, 18 UConn, 17 Texas A&M, 16 Clemson, 15 Houston, 14 Michigan, 13 Oklahoma, 12 is Oregon, 11 is Purdue, 10 is Kansas. After those two losses, you got to drop them. 9 is Florida. 8 is Gonzaga, 7 is Alabama, 6 is Marquette, 5 is Kentucky. The SEC is loaded this year. 4 is Duke, 3 is Iowa State, 2 is Auburn, and 1 is Tennessee. My goodness. Yeah, that's the college basketball top 25. I know Michigan lost to Arkansas and all that, and we've got some big matchups coming up on Saturday. Texas A&M playing Purdue and Indy, Wisconsin playing Butler and Indy. I know NC State goes on the road to Kansas. A very good NC State team goes on the road to Kansas. I know two very big time programs playing New York City. Gonzaga and Kansas. I think there might be one more game in there. I'm not sure. Oh yeah. Also, Tennessee goes to Illinois. That was neutral site. They go to Illinois. That place is gonna be rocking. Can't wait to watch it. But yeah, that's the college basketball top 25. All right. Bill Belichick to North Carolina. We're gonna get into this. Let me take a sip of my water because sit back, get comfy. We're gonna spend a minute on it, a while on this, I should say. I don't hear. I've been racking my brain with this all week since the rumor first came out. Honestly, I've been racking my brain, and I've been trying to think. Okay, if this deal gets done, which I guess it's almost done, it's in the whatever. I don't know what I from North Carolina standpoint. You just had an older coach, Matt Brown, who you just basically fired, who's one of the greatest coaches of all time, may I add. And you're bringing in Belichick, and look, good for Belichick. He does have some, I guess, emotional ties. I guess UNC was around the program a little bit. I think his dad coached there. Whatever. I think Lawrence Taylor, who played for him at the Giants, he was, he played for UNC, and maybe he's saying, "Look, I could set my son up for a head coaching job. I can bring him over, be the DC, and then when I'm ready to get done with this, he can be the next head coach here, and he can get his career started." Look, I don't. In terms of the recruiting and everything, he'll probably hire somebody to do that. Now, I did hear a rumor from multiple people like that Coach Prime doesn't go into houses, which okay, I'm not gonna. I don't know if that's true or not, but let's just say hypothetically, it's not, or it's not. Let's just say hypothetically, it is true. He doesn't go in the houses and recruiting, and the kids come to him, and he's getting all these kids to play for Colorado. I bring that example up because of this. Will Belichick be the big? Because Coach Prime's in his own world uh in terms of just iconic figures in football. Is Belichick a guy that could do a similar thing, saying, "Oh my goodness, like Coach Belichick's calling me. He wants me to come play for him and stuff like that." Could he have that type of effect? I don't know. Uh, I don't know why he's sending me that. Sorry, I just got a text message. But anyways, yeah, just stuff. Anyways, Bill Belichick, I feel like he could have that like gravitational pull to, I guess, if you want to call it that, be like, hey kid, I want you to come play for me, da da da. We can put you here. I think he'll be able to recruit 4 and 5 stars to come to North Carolina by not going in the house of potentially. Now you have to have great recruiters that actually go in the house, say, look, this is what we're about. We're selling you on this program. I don't know what the culture is going to be like. I don't know with college football and the transfer portal, NIL. How is he going to deal with that? Again, this is a man that has never coached college ball or has never been, I don't think, a coordinator or in terms of this era, he's never been there. He's always been in the NFL head coach, and you know how the NFL goes. He believes he could fix it. I thought he potentially would be the next Jags coach. Now he's in UNC. Now he's potentially going to UNC. Now there's still a chance the deal falls apart. I don't know what his terms are because it was like because it there were the two sides were still trying to work it out. Do I think it falls apart? I don't know. I just don't think when you look at Belichick, forget the resume for a second and just put out in front, okay, Bill Bill Belichick, college experience. What does he have? He doesn't have any major college experience. So obviously there's going to be a learning curve. The football aspect of it, I'm not worried about. That's Belichick. I Belichick is one of the greatest minds in the, if not the greatest mind in the history of the game. I'm not worried about Belichick and the X's and O's of football. I'm not worried about that. What I'm worried about is the recruiting, the NIL, the portal, all of that. How will he deal with that? That's that's a big thing for me because you cannot win in this day and age of college football if you don't use NIL, if you don't use the portal. I don't think you're going to be as successful. Look at Dabo, as great as he was, as great as his little dynasty that he had was, as soon as it came to the portal and NIL, and he didn't use it, the dynasty died. And yes, he's back in the playoff, but that's his first time since 2020 with Trevor Lawrence. So look, I'm I'm not saying I'm not saying that Bill Belichick won't work at USC, UNC. That's not what I'm saying at all. I'm saying if it doesn't, don't be surprised. But I think there's a chance it may work out. Again, how long does Belichick want to do this? I have no clue. If he wants to do this 4 years, 5 years, I don't know. He is getting up there in age. This is just interests me because this one kind of came out left field. Because when Matt Brown was out there, I thought at the college level they were going to be looking for a college coach. Nobody big, but I thought they were going to be looking for Barry Odom at UNLV. He's at Purdue now. Or maybe they would be looking at Lashley from SMU potentially. I thought maybe looking at Boise's coach. Maybe I know he's kind of just got there, but I thought maybe that's potentially somewhere where they would look. I'm not saying they would have got any of those guys, but I'm just saying they will probably look in that direction. Now, I don't know. But with Belichick, it just interests me. Because to me, like, okay, he's not, people are going to be like, well, Saban was doing it. Saban was doing it at 70 something years old. Well, yeah, but he had already had the experience. He'd been doing it. The reason he got out of it was because of the NIL and the portal. That's the reason he got out of it. Now, Belichick here is getting in it. Now, does he know about NIL and the portal? Does he know about all the requirements? I don't know. Him and Saban were on the same staff, so he'll probably try to get some advice about it. But the sides agreed to a 5-year deal, pending the board of trustees, which is scheduled to hold an emergency meeting Thursday. Belichick's father, Steve, served as an assistant coach from the Tar Heels till 1953 to 1955. Belichick said, I grew up around college football with my dad and treasures those times. I have always wanted to coach in college, and now I'm looking forward to building the football program in Chapel Hill. Well, I don't know how this is going to go. Obviously, I hope it goes well, but Belichick, again, if he's able to handle the recruiting and the portal stuff, he will be successful, wildly successful. If he's not, it could be a car crash. That's all I'm going to say. All right, let's kind of get into this quickly. The college football playoff bracket. Let's get into this. Obviously, I showed you the matchups. If you missed the episode last week, I'll just reiterate to the bracket again. Here's top bracket. Okay. I'll actually just share my screen. Again, this is top side of the bracket. It's the 5-12. It's Clemson. It's Clemson traveling to Texas. Clemson won the ACC on a big kick to get there. Winner goes to the Peach Bowl against Arizona State on New Year's Day. Arizona State won the Big 12. They got the bye. Tennessee and Ohio State. I can't wait for this matchup. Winner faces Oregon on New Year's Day. Oregon, number 1 team in the nation, won the Big Ten, got the bye. SMU and Penn State play. Winner gets Boise State in the Fiesta Bowl. Boise State got the bye. The Fiesta Bowl has been like a second home for Boise. That I can't wait to see if it's Penn State or Boise or if it's SMU. Imagine SMU and Boise in a playoff game. Anyways, and then you got the battle for Indiana, which actually kicks off the CFP playoffs. It's Indiana traveling to Notre Dame. And the winner gets Georgia in the Sugar Bowl, depending if it's Gunner Stockton or not. It's still going to be a tough matchup regardless. I'm Let's start from the top. The Clemson in Texas. Texas and Clemson. This is the first ever meeting. Texas is favored by 11 points. Texas is really good. Like Texas, or 10.5. Look, I know what people are going to be saying about Texas. Back-to-back playoff appearances. This team remembers how it felt last year to lose in the semifinal, where Quinn Ewers, they know how it feels to lose in the semifinals. This game interests me strictly because of how is Texas going to use Arch Manning potentially, and B, with Clemson, because if you watch the Texas and Georgia game, Gunner Stockton came in and he ran a couple times against Texas and some design QB runs. We know Clemson likes to do that. I think that's one area where Clemson could get Texas. The trenches, that's going to be interesting. Clemson has a really good defense, but most importantly, they have a really good pass rush. How are they going to be, or how can they get after Quinn Ewers and company? To me, Texas is going to have to. To me, you take their pass rushers out of it by running the football, which they've shown they can do effectively. They didn't do it against Georgia because at the end of the day, it is Georgia. But I don't know here. If I was leaning anywhere, I'm leaning strongly Texas. I think Texas. Now, Sark, in terms of the play calling, the last, I'd say, 2 weeks, I've been eh. I've been a little iffy on it, especially the play calling in overtime of the game against Georgia, where look, you need a touchdown, you get a field goal, and look, I know your defense have been stopping them, but from the 20, I think from 25, that's still tough. I understand all that. I didn't like the play calling down there late. But Texas, I think, is going to win this game. I think it's going to be very close. Sark versus Dabble is going to be an interesting chess match to where I can see. But here's what I'll say: if Clemson finds a way to win this game, they're going to be the Cinderella team. They'll just be interesting to watch this game. Quinn and Cade played against each other in high school in Texas. Must see. I think here, because nobody expected Clemson to be here, and plus Dabo has the national titles, all the pressure here is on Texas and Sark to get it done. But I think they will get it done. I'm taking Texas. Tennessee, Ohio State. Let's talk about it. Tennessee, offensively. This is a game where Tennessee, I know it's going to be cold, wet, cold, all that. I feel like Tennessee could provide some problems to Ohio State. In the run game. The trenches is going to be it's going to be where the game's won. Let's just keep it real. because you have a good offensive line facing a great defensive line for Ohio State. You have a great defensive line in Tennessee facing a great offensive line in Ohio State. To me, that's where going coaching and the trenches is where it's going to be won. But I'm gonna just say this: if Ohio State loses this game at home to Tennessee, because with Tennessee, okay, Tennessee could be a team that I feel like is either eliminated in the first round or could win the whole thing. I believe Tennessee is that good. I believe they could, if they need to, could go and beat Oregon in the Rose Bowl. I believe they're that good that could potentially happen. Now, would I pick Oregon? Yes, but I wouldn't be shocked if Tennessee won. I wouldn't be stunned if Tennessee won in this game. But this is what I'm saying. If Ohio State, if Ryan Day loses this game, it's done. He's done. He's coaching for his job, I feel like, because there is no possible way you could lose to Michigan the way you did. If okay, you beat Michigan and then you lose to Oregon in Big Ten title game, that's a whole nother conversation that we can have. That's a whole nother conversation. That's okay, fine. That's a whole nother conversation. But you've screwed yourself pretty much here because if you beat if you had beaten Michigan, even if you had lost, you probably would have been what 5 or 6, which means you would have either had SMU or you had Clemson. Now you got Tennessee. This matchup, the freshman Nico. Look, I get it. I get it. He has very great potential and upside. He has an arm. The up tempo offense. I get all that. To me, this game is not going to be the high scoring game. To me, this game is going to be a grinded out, gritty, probably 21, maybe 24, 21, maybe 21-17 type of game. And I think that game favors Ohio State. I think the Buckeyes find a way to bounce back. But if they somehow lose this game to Tennessee, yes, I'm picking Ohio State, but they somehow lose this game, uh, that's going to be an interesting scene. I think Day's gone, but I just want to see the scene at Ohio State Stadium if that potentially happens. But that's going to be a great game. Again, we're only talking about the first round matchups. We'll get into the rest probably another time. Let's go here to SMU and Penn State. This is a game that interests me because to me, all the pressure is on James Franklin. And there's also immense pressure on Tom Allen, the defensive coordinator. Look, you're facing you face Oregon, #1 team in the nation. Not a good outing. If you had told me if somebody had come here and told me, hey, Penn State is gonna put up 37 against Oregon Big Ten title game, I would have been like, oh, so Penn State pulled off the win, right? Right? No. And to be fair, and look, Oregon's offense is really good, but that was a bad outing. They couldn't. Dylan Gabriel was big on third and fourth downs, but they couldn't stop anything. But that's besides the point. Oregon here, Oregon, Penn State, there's all the pressures on Franklin. SMU, if they come out and lose, okay, nobody really even expecting them to be in this thing before the year. So if they come out lose, okay, good, whatever. If SMU goes in and beats James Franklin, oh my word. Penn State fans' heads are about to explode. Oh my word. I I you see how I'm speechless right now? Because that will leave me speechless. That game, that that's a must win for Franklin. You win that, you're in the quarterfinal against Boise, and then I think they would be potentially Boise again. But Boise is really good, and I could see actually Boise beating them. But yeah, I this year the offense has been really good. I think the offense is going to be good again. I think that Penn State comes out, they play well, offense, defense redeems themselves. I don't think they romp SMU, but I think they win by 10 to 14. I think they win by 10 to 14 points. I think probably 34-20, and I think Penn State advances. Now, the game I'm most excited for, Notre Dame IU, battle for Indiana. It's going to open the college football playoff. Look, Indiana statistically the number one run defense in America. Notre Dame, really one of the best in the country at running the ball. What did IU learn in the loss to Ohio State about the crowd noise and all that? Notre Dame's going to blitz. Can Indiana pick it up? I think to negate some of that. One, I think they have to be a little bit more unpredictable because they would go run, and then they would pass on obvious passing downs. You don't need them to get into obvious passing situations, obviously, because that's when the defense is going to bring the blitz. I agree, but Jacob Ellison and Tyson Lawton are going to have a huge part in this game. If IU is able to run the football in this game effectively, and I know Notre Dame has a good offense, I think IU has a good defense. I think IU has a legit shot to pull the upset. But Notre Dame, they're a physical football team. This is going to be about if IU can match the physicality. It's in South Bend. It's going to be a fantastic game. Riley Leonard's been playing fantastic. Both Riley Leonard and Curtis Ward have been playing fantastic football this year. No Benjamin Morrison, though. May come back to bite them. Screw it. I'm going with the upset. Give me the Hoosiers. I think they're going to pull off the upset. All the pressure is going to be on Notre Dame in this game because everybody's expecting Notre Dame to go out and smack IU by 30. Like, that's what they think. But I think IU rises up. I think this was the better matchup for them because let's be real. If they were to get Georgia's going to smack IU by 20, 25 points. That's just what it was going to be. But I think this is a better matchup for them. Even though the physicality, I think IU wins this game. I really do. And I think Signetti's probably going to be smirking or something. He's probably going to be saying Google it or something. But yeah, they Googled you. Indiana. People are going to be thinking you're frauds. If you go out and win this, yes, it's Georgia next, but go out and they play well. I actually think this is going to be probably the best game out of the four. I think this is going to be the most entertaining game. The colors, College Game Day is going to be there. I think this is going to be a fantastic game. Give me the Hoosiers in this game. That is my college football first round prediction / playoff preview, which would mean what we would get is we would get Indiana and Georgia in the All-State Sugar Bowl. We get Penn State and Boise in the Fiesta Bowl, Ohio State and Oregon in the Rose Bowl, and Texas and Arizona State in the Peach Bowl. Sign me up. All right, but let's get to this NFL week 15. A little quick preview. Bengals. Well, first let's go to week 14. Bengals beat the Cowboys. If you watched the game, you know there was a little situation at the end. Block punt. You're not supposed to touch it. They touch it. Bengals ball. Burrow throws it. Touchdown. Look, for the Cowboys, it's gut check time because it's a game where if you win it, you give your fans some hope. Now it's pretty much dead. So look, it's gut check time for them, but good win for the Bengals. I guess you're not out of the race yet completely in the playoffs. You're not dead, but you're closest thing to it. But that's a good win, and it's good to win anytime in the NFL. But let's get to week 15. The week kicks off with the Rams and the Niners. That's a big one. If the Niners lose it, they're done. Rams, they're trying to stay in that NFC West race, obviously, for the division title. That's big, bro. That's not going to be one of the ones we preview. Actually, the first one we're going to preview is Miami at Houston. Now, Houston's favored by 3 in this game. It's a big one because Tua with this look, I don't know. I don't know about the injuries. Look, Hill's questionable. Wild's questionable, but they were limited. Mostert limited at practice. It looks like he's going to play. I know Bradley Chubb will most likely be out. Look, Teron Armstead questionable. Most of those guys are going to play. Houston's kind of been sliding here recently. They've been struggling. I mean, they got to win before the bye. They're 8-5, but if I'm looking at these games, I mean, they're what 2-3 in their last 5. Lost to the Jets, lost to the Lions, won at Dallas, lost to the Titans, won at Jacksonville. Look, and they have a tough stretch coming here. I mean, Miami at KC, Baltimore at home, and then at the Titans. Look, they're big ones. Miami is going. I think their best chances to run. I know Tua's been great. They're gonna have to run the football in this game because as much as as well as he's been playing, look, the the pass rush of Houston, that's still really good. The pass defense, okay. Maybe their corners are not. By the way, season-ending injury for Jalen Petrie. Big blow. Again, they've been blown by that. Aziz Al-Shire got suspended, by the way. Christian Harris, he's about to come back from injured reserve, which will be that's big for them in that defense. But Miami, and especially if you lose this game, depending what happens on the Indy, well, it doesn't even depend what happens. If you lose this game, you're pretty much cooked in the wild card race. Um, that's what that is. So this is a must win for Miami, and for Houston, I don't think it's a must win yet. But if you lose this game, there's some thoughts. Are we actually as good as we think we are? Can we win a playoff game? I thought we were supposed to be Super Bowl contenders. All that jazz. That's a big one. A big a big one. 425 window is incredible. Big one. Indy at Denver. Denver favored by 4. This game, Richardson versus Knicks will interest me. And this that really does interest me. They're gonna have to run the ball if Indy wants to win. Receivers gonna have to have the best game with the season. Receivers and tight ends can't have any drops against of this great Denver defense. Now Denver, I don't know what the status of Riley Moss will be. It's his first full on field practice since the bye week. Cornerback Riley Moss knee was out with the team stretching, doing some line, but did not participate in practice. So I don't know. Maybe he tries to tough it out, but if they don't have him, I mean, we saw what happened against Denver. We saw what happened against Cleveland when they didn't have him. So he's a big piece of that. Offensively, I think this is look. Bo Nix has been playing great, throwing for over 2,000 yards, 17 touchdowns, 8 picks. They run it with Bo and their 2 backs against that Colts defense. I strongly think they're gonna run. I think they're gonna run the ball a lot. It's going to be, and for the playoff implications of this game, I just want to make it known, like, if the Colts lose this game, in terms of wild card, they're done. They're not. I believe it's going to take a miracle. But if they win this game, and depending on what happens with Houston, if Houston loses, Colts, you look at the last 3 games: Giants, Titans, Jags. 2 of the 3 at home. If you want to get to the playoffs and you can't beat 3 bad teams, you don't deserve to go. If you're the Colts, this is a playoff game. If you're the Broncos, it's essentially a playoff game almost, because if you win it, you're most likely going to be in. If you lose, you're at the Chargers, you're at Bengals, and you're playing the Chiefs. It could get dicey. And also, if you lose one more and the Colts win 3 in a row, you lose the tiebreaker. So it's a big game. It is a big game there in the Mile High. I think the key to the game, obviously, for the Colts, run the ball. Against Bo Nix and those receivers, I think you're gonna have to blitz on third down a couple of times. I think they will stay in zone a lot because they want to have eyes on Bo Nix at all time, just in case, he escapes the pocket. But if you're the Colts in this game, you're going to have rush, lane, integrity. You can't get beat deep in this game. The Colts defense will test Bo Nix's patience, I feel like. But I feel like you're going to get a heavy dose of the run game. No doubt. Tampa and LA in the Chargers. Chargers coming off a brutal loss. Tampa is white hot right now at 7-6. Look. Tampa, it interests me because obviously Godwin for the rest of the year. You get Evans back. The Falcons are sliding. Now you're back on top of the division. They're gonna throw the ball, obviously, all around the lot. This is Chargers. They're the number 1 defense in the league. The Chargers are going to give Tampa Bay issues because I think mainly the pass rush. I think Mack and Bosa are going to be able to get to Mayfield. Now, the run game, they're getting more from the run game. I think they'll still lean on that, Tampa Bay. If you're the Chargers offensively, look, I know Tampa Bay has had, since the bye, they've had some great weeks, but this is going to be the best offense they faced since then. And I'm not even saying the Chargers are a great offense, but they're a decent offense. I think the run game is going to be something Tampa struggles with, and I just think the Chargers will probably win this game because Tampa Bay's defense is not going to be able to stop them. They in games they've let Baker down this season, San Francisco game, Kansas City game, Falcons game. Those game that's a big one. Mainly Chargers try and get to the playoffs. Tampa Bay as well. It's a big one, but I don't even know if it's not the even in a regular window. It would be the biggest game. It's not even top two. Pittsburgh at Philadelphia. We'll go to that one first before the other massive game. 10-3 versus 11-2. Philadelphia obviously on Detroit's tail for the 1 seed. Pittsburgh on Buffalo's tail for the 2 seed, and they play Kansas City as well. So maybe the 1 seed potentially, but Pittsburgh here, this game interests me because they haven't won in obviously Philadelphia since 1965. The comments about AJ Brown, Jalen Hurts, how is that going to affect the team? I wouldn't think it's going to affect the team that much. They said Brandon Graham misspoke, gang, whatever you say. I actually think this is pit. I actually think this is going to be if you're betting on this game, take all the unders. I love the matchup. Pittsburgh's a really good team in stopping the run. Obviously, they have a really good pass rush. Again, Philadelphia, even though on offense they do have that high-end talent at skill positions with Smith, Brown, and Barkley. I think though the Steelers get them. I think the Steelers are going to play that hard-nosed football. This is a classic Steelers game on the road. I don't think a lot of people are going to pick them. I think the Steelers come on the road and they stun the Eagles. I think the Eagles defense plays well enough to win, but I think in the end, the the run game gets stuffed and they have to rely on Hurts in that pass game, and I don't think they get it done. I think the Steelers find a way to win this game. Probably going to be that. I don't know what the score is going to be. I don't think it's going to be high scoring, though. Don't think it's going to be high scoring. The Bills and Lions, this game is going to be high scoring. No, I can tell you that. This game interests me so much because the Bills, obviously, holy hell. People trying to call me while I'm recording a pod. I'm so. Anyways, back to the pod. Okay. So, Bills and Lions. I'm so sorry about that. I won't even edit that out. This is raw. I won't raw reaction. Won't even edit that out. This game interests me from the standpoint of okay, the Bills defense. They are coming off of a tough game against the Rams offense. Obviously, Stafford, Nakua threw the ball all over the lot. Stafford threw the ball over the lot of Nakua and Cup. Lost my train of thought there for a second. Against the Lions, they're going to do a balance. Play action. They're going to use Montgomery and Gibbs. This is going to be a hard offense to stop. Can they stop them? I don't know. I don't know if the Bills can. I think this is going to be a game where Josh Allen is going to have to go full Superman again. Full Superman again. Now, do I think the Bills? I think it could be an upset. I think their defense will bounce back, though. I think the one thing Jared Goff struggles with is pressure. I think Sean McDermott, they're going to blitz a lot in this game. Now that If the blitz doesn't get home, that's going to lead to more one-on-one opportunities. And we know that what that means. But I think that offense with Detroit, it's just so tough to stop. I really don't know how. You got to know when to blitz. And I think after that, I don't even want to say you got to sit back in zone, because Goff will pick you apart there if you don't have the pass rush, which I believe the Bills don't have the pass rush to just sit back in zone. So it's going to be an interesting game. I'm really excited to watch these games on Sunday. The red zone will be on full effect. You know what it is. Green Bay at Seattle is the last game. We'll go over what Holy Hawks. Yeah, the Hawks are 9 against the Knicks. Anyway, Green Bay, Seattle. This game is just bound to have some crazy moments. Obviously, Seattle's white hot, winning 4 in a row. Green Bay has won. Green Bay is coming off of a loss to Detroit in a tough game. I think Green Bay is going to win this game. The reason I think Green Bay is going to win this game is because I believe they're going to give that Seahawks defense, who have been balling trouble, I believe the way Matt LaFleur calls plays, designs plays, draws them up, I believe the run game of Jacobs, I just think the weapons that they have is going to be too much for Seattle to overcome. Now, Geno's going to have to play well, but I think, look, against this defense, he'll probably have 1 or 2 turnovers. Geno has been prone to turning the ball over a lot. But give me the Packers in this game to go on the road and stun Seattle and end the 4-game winning streak. All right, that is it for the Don't Argue with the Facts podcast. Hey, ESPN, I'm gonna get out of here. We previewed the week 15, all of that. Please like, subscribe, follow my Instagram too. Those links will be in the description. And until the next time I talk to you, stay safe. See ya.